saying
Thank
I
you.
need a $24 Citadel primer, I was like,
It's
my mind was
$30 now.
blown.
Do you want to blame your dice too? We may as well get all the excuses out.
No.
All right, welcome back to Council of the North. Tonight I am Will, and I have with me Andrew.
Greetings.
And we have Zach.
Cheers.
Okay. And we have some special guests tonight. We have Jeremy
What up?
and Ben.
Yo.
Council of the North, here we go.
Here we go. From Ancient Enemies podcast. These are a couple guys from our league, and we're going to have them on tonight to talk about, you guys hosted your first tournament, right? First time TOing?
Yep,
Yeah.
first time ever.
First time TOing. And we had two of our own Council of the North players playing it. So we'll talk a bit about their games, talk a bit about what it's like to TO, and we're going to get right into it. We're going to do our usual stuff to start off. Zach, do you want to walk us through shame points?
Shame point, rapid fire. I painted Bilbo, so I'm all good. Andrew painted something, I believe. Will
What
did
did I
not
paint?
paint anything.
He
Oh,
painted
so
like,
I did a sweet banner that we're going to talk about later.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did a banner. It's a little bit too big. Horse looked a little drunk, but that's fine. Will's now sitting at 9 shame points, right with me. We're all tied up in the lead. So one of us potentially in the future is going full 10 shame points, and I believe that will be Will. If I was a betting man, I would put money on that.
Calling him out.
There we go.
Calling him out.
I think I'm like 3 weeks in a row with a shame point. So
It's been bad for you,
yeah.
but important moment for the shame chart. Guest, Jeremy, have you painted anything this week?
Does I painted my kitchen cupboards. That counts.
No.
That should count. That should count. I think that should count.
That's
I had to. If people don't know, they don't know. They're gonna have to go back to previous episodes and figure out where that came from. Look at the comments.
At this point, anything could count. So
No,
Yeah.
that's not
Nope.
true.
Not
Does it have to be
anything.
painting, or can it be like terrain and all that?
Did you paint terrain?
Oh yeah, last week was terrain mayhem. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't painted anything though, miniature wise.
Terrain will count.
Okay.
Okay, so Jeremy is good. Ben,
Yeah,
have you painted anything?
I painted up my sweet banner for the tournament too, and I painted up
Nice.
a lot of stuff: Amdur, Kamul, Dragon Knight.
We're keeping the
Okay.
guess perfect
Yeah.
record.
Perfect record
No,
for
not
the Ancient
perfect.
Enemies.
One member.
One.
Maddie,
member of our guests.
Oh yeah,
Maddie
that's right.
Lockwood is the only guest to
Shame,
not
Maddie.
paint. So as long as every other guest shows up painting something, we can continuously specifically shame one particular individual.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
we'll just keep
Perfect.
doing that. And Will get some shame too. Gotta step it up.
Actually, we should mention we're in the middle of a debate right now, and people can weigh in what they want to see. But we're debating if at the year mark of our podcast, which is coming up in a couple months, if we switch our shame punishment to something either smaller, that's every shame point we get punished, or keeping it the same or doing something different. So if you have any thoughts or ideas, you can weigh in. Let us know what you think. But otherwise, that's it for shame, Zach.
That's it for shame. All wrapped up.
That was
All right,
the
Andrew.
fastest shame segment ever.
Dude, I'm excited for tonight now. Andrew, you wanna give them the quiz question again?
Yeah, this week's and last week's question for Are You Smart, Are You Zach? Just repeating it. Feel free to leave your comments on Spotify, YouTube, Patreon. Who came up with the famous riddle that begins with "Not all those who wander are lost"? Who wrote it or came up with it? Leave a comment.
Oh man, that's a tough
Amazing.
one.
I think I know, but then I also second guessed myself that I don't think I know anymore. But
Zach let me know last week he did get it right.
Immediately, I was like, knew the answer.
Are you a clarification on the question. Are you talking like character-wise or like?
Yeah, not Tolkien, obviously Tolkien.
Okay.
Tolkien.
I'm like,
What character in the books wrote it, or movies?
Ooh, that's a rough
That was a
question
dumb
there.
question.
What a trick question, though.
It was, yeah. What
like
character?
George R. Martin or something. George Lucas.
It's ridiculous.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, from all of history,
Okay.
who said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's the
Winston
question.
Churchill?
Don't bring that man's name up. That's the question. Leave your
Cool.
answer.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna get right into it. A couple announcements. I just got these in today. We're gonna show the camera, and if you're listening, you can't see, but we got dice. We have 200 Council of the North dice, and they look pretty sick.
Ooh, fire.
And so patrons, I got to double check who's getting them, but we're gonna message people. We'll either send them to them, or we'll see you at a tournament soon, and we'll give them to you. But
I feel like you gotta come to a
otherwise,
tournament. You gotta come to a tournament, collector your prize.
Yeah.
that's a good rule. Unless you're overseas, then I'll ship it
Don't
to you.
shut down our international
Yeah,
potential.
This is our,
I don't think there is
this
any,
is our
but just in case.
it's our loophole to not give dice away.
Yeah. Or to get people out.
Yeah, come
Get
fly
Maddie
here
back.
to get your dice. Otherwise, yeah, check us out on YouTube, Instagram. We post all our shame pictures, shame avoidance pictures up there. We have a Patreon if you want to subscribe. And there's something else, Spotify. Spotify people just listen. I think it's pretty simple. You're doing great. But tonight, we are going to talk to Jeremy and Ben. So before we get into their tournament that they ran, we're going to talk to them about how they got into MESBG. So Ben, how did you start into MESBG?
I started into MESBG by not starting into MESBG. I started, played war games like Legion to start. That was like my intro to wargaming. Jared was like spoon feeding me MESBG every once in a while. He'd suggest it like, hey, let's play a game, and I'd be like, I don't know, and I'd be like, I like Star Wars. And then eventually, we started playing more and more and more and more. And then Legion came out with a second edition, and then it was garbage. And then MESBG became like my sole game. Just started collecting miniatures, and then I started ramping up probably when the new edition dropped. I started coming out to tournaments, and it's just gone uphill from there.
Were you playing? So was last season your first season in the league?
Yes. Yeah, my first ever tournament was Council last summer.
The one we played you at.
We played you at that one.
Yeah. When we were the
Okay.
teams tournament. Yeah. That was my first ever tournament. When I beat
Zach
Andrew.
had some nasty. Zach
I
had some
beat you
nasty
next
things
day,
to say
buddy.
about you.
I had nasty things to say. I was the one that played Jared.
Andrew did.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how did you start in MESBG?
Board games didn't cut it for what I wanted from sitting around a table and playing like a tactical game. So love Lord of the Rings. And I believe I typed in like Middle Earth board games on Amazon, and the Pelennor box showed up at the bottom. And I mean, I've seen 40K and whatever at board game stores, but it's always kind of like, oh, that looks like too much. And then I saw the Pelennor box, and I was like, well, you know what? If other people do it, you can do it. So I was like, you know what? I'll dive into it. Bought the box from Meeple Mart in Toronto. They were one of the only places they had a good price on it. And then had no idea what I was doing. Just started kind of slapping the miniatures together, and then got my cousin into it, who just played at our tournament for his first time. He was the original, and then a buddy, and we just kind of played in the basement for a while, and then eventually, and then got my other cousin into it. So there's about 4 of us playing, and then eventually, so I was part of the OSBGL for, I don't know, probably like a year and a half before I hopped into tournaments, because we talked about this with Andrew on our pod. Saw Tim at the local games workshop, and Tim was like, yeah, there's a Facebook page, joined it, just perusing from the outside for a while, and then finally was like, well, you know what, let's go to a tournament. Went to one of Taylor Hansen's tournament at the Hooded Goblin in Georgetown there. Pretty sweet store, and the rest was history. Loved it. Loved the Loved the vibe. Loved playing, different people, different armies, and a lot of good guys in the OSBGL. So
100%. Yeah.
I would just like to say, talking about Council being one of your first tournaments, on the Sunday, I guess, Ben, we played again, right? We played twice that
Yeah,
weekend.
we played 2 games, against
And
each
on
other
the
that
Sunday, I
weekend.
beat you. And then I showed up and I beat
Okay,
Jeremy right
relax.
after that. And then I won the tournament.
Yeah, after you slow
yeah,
played
with,
both
with,
of
Did
us.
a,
you-
with a buy, right?
With a buy?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I could do is I got to
Like the
beat both of you the
most-
same day.
A 3-game
Yeah.
tournament with a bye that
Yeah.
doesn't count as a real win.
Also,
man.
just to be very clarified here, the guy that came in second also had a bye.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty rough.
came in third, and I was the only one to play 3 full games to podium.
Let me also say that last game was like, okay, Andrew was playing Rohan in Recon, so he already had a innate advantage.
You had Cav too. Don't give me that.
I was playing
He was playing
Glorfindel and
Fornost.
I was playing Fornost, yeah. Anyways, and then we had that weird like interruption mid game
Yeah.
that was like
Oh,
it
these
was
sound
so
like
frustrating.
all
excuses.
through the giveaway.
The game was
Yeah.
long lost by then, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably losing either way.
No, it wasn't. It was close. It was
But
close like last time.
Do you want to blame your dice too? We may as well get all the excuses out.
no dice there. I've yet to play you again, Andrew. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I've yet to play
Except
you again.
unlike Zach, I won't be scared about facing you again.
I was never scared. I just loved holding it over you.
What's wild is that like we've been in the league like over 10 years. We've taken a break for a couple years, but I've only played Andrew twice at tournaments. I think Zach,
Yeah.
we've only played twice that I can remember. Like it's crazy how you just like
Yeah.
It
like
is.
there's so many people, right? Like
Some people
You
just
run into
never
the
play.
same people over and over.
Like I've played
Yeah.
Kyle, who knows how many times? At least every tournament I play him.
Yeah,
And,
Van
I've al-
Graff,
and,
yeah.
and Zach was my first ever game against Zach the other day.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what
it's
could
pretty
also go down to where after the first game of randomly being aside, where you start ending
it's
up
true.
on the standings, how you end up
Right.
meeting the same people. Because, certain people tend to go to the top, certain people tend to go to the bottom. So you would
Yeah.
you would end up meeting the same people over and over again, generally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
but
my fellow stinkers.
back to Jeremy and Ben. You guys are obviously a podcast. You have Ancient Enemies. Why did you start Ancient Enemies?
I want to do a podcast for forever.
Dude, same.
It was like I've listened to I don't know so many of them out there, and Ben, part of the thing with a podcast is you need the people to kind of know what they're talking about.
Yep.
So part of it was like me finally feeling comfortable of like, oh, I actually know what I'm talking about, or at least I think I know what I'm talking about, and Ben needing to know what he's talking about.
Yeah, half the time I don't know what I'm talking about. I just throw some stuff out there,
Us
and then
neither.
if Jared agrees, I'm like, yes,
Because it was like I would love to start it with, and I mean the person has to do it too, right? So
Yep.
I think finally when I was like, man, Ben actually, it was so interesting playing Ben or when you teach somebody new, but especially Ben because I played with him so much now, where you reach a point where you're like, oh man, I'm not taking it easy on them anymore. Like originally I'd be like, man, I don't just want to like crush his soul and like have him leave the game. But at some point I was like, man, he actually knows what he's doing. And anyways, it's like, yeah, we're playing competitively at this point. Like Ben definitely knows what he's talking about when he's saying things. He's not just like yapping. So, I mean, part of the motivation was you guys too. Is like you guys are doing it.
yeah.
Having another
Yeah.
voice in the OSBGL.
You're like,
all
if
of a
those guys can
sudden-
do it, we can definitely do this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all of a sudden these 3 bums show up on YouTube, and we're like, we can do it way better.
It's probably accurate.
But yeah, I was like, man, Ben, do you want to do it? And he's like, yeah, I'm all in. And I think I was more tentative than he was. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Oh my God, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Let's
Yeah.
just commit. And yeah.
Yeah. No, I have a couple questions about your podcast. Like what is it? Is there something you guys are trying to do different from like, so there's like a ridiculous amount of Middle Earth podcasts for how small of a player base we have, right? Like
It's crazy.
there's so
yeah.
many out there. What's like something you guys wanted to do with the podcast? Is there something specific?
Well, like I said before we started, I said to Jared, I was like, I don't see that many people doing tier lists, and I feel like we do quite a few tier lists. We've done quite a few.
Tier list fell off.
Tier list fell off, so I was like, let's just do. There's so many things you can tier. You could just tier. You could tier anything. There's unlimited tier lists you can make, and each one of them is interesting as the next one. So I was like, let's do some tier lists, and I think they're pretty well received. I mean, they're fun to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember tier lists being more popular when I was listening, probably 2 years ago, and then I feel like people just stopped doing tier lists. And I mean, tier lists are one thing, but then we also just yap all the time, anyways. Like basically everybody, and it was like, well, why don't we yap and record it?
Why don't we just record it? Yeah.
So I mean,
that touches like just the yapping. It's like what we started doing this. It's like we were just doing our paint nights, just talking about various different things, and it was like, why not just record the random stuff we're chatting about, and put it out there. People may or may not be interested, and it seems at least there are a few people out there who are enjoying this.
Yeah. Now we no longer have paint night.
Now
I can't avoid a shame point to save my life now.
Yeah. We like. I like to. I mean, offering what competitive advice we have. It's not like, I know some guys kind of hold it close to their chest, but if I can shed some light on things that I've learned over the years, that's nice too. I would love to do more hobby stuff, but again, that's almost like a different genre altogether. So if we did that, that'd have to be on, I don't know, in some type of other format, or we figure that out. But
on your YouTube channel, I think you have 25 videos right now. Real quick, if you had to shout out one, what would be your favorite video you've done so far?
Go watch the Duels on the Peak, our newest, as of recording this, our latest episode. It is, dude, Jared did a great job on the board. It's like the massive mountain, and we got the Balrog and Glorfindel and Gandalf all dueling on the mountain. It's so sick.
I was gonna say,
the background is great.
That's the one we just did, but like, it's the one that comes to mind. But I enjoyed doing that video. It was just fun.
It was super fun to make, and visually, I think it looks really cool, and it's a fun concept. So
we're gonna do more of it. We're gonna do more of like we got lots of ideas with that little
lots of duels.
Peak. Lots of duel-esque type. Next one's probably gonna be Sauron, Elendil, and Gil-galad. So
there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
Teaser.
Yeah, I put my money on Gil-galad. I'll call it out now.
Gil-galad and Elendil v Sauron. Yeah,
they're gonna get it done. That's a bit about your podcast. Everybody should go listen to it. You guys do really good stuff. It's fun to see, especially coming out of Ontario too. Like, it feels like we had nothing for so long, and now we have just like a lot coming out. So it's fun to listen to like content close to home, basically.
Yeah.
But go listen to Ancient Enemies. Now, for the two of you, I think, can I put you both, like a competitive versus casual player? I'm going to put you both in competitive, I think. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I need to have, I mean, I wouldn't play the game. I think if there wasn't any competitive, I would just, I don't know, I'd kind of lose motivation.
Yeah. As competitive players, this is a question I'm curious, especially people like playing on top tables and stuff. You always hear people walk away from their table being like, oh man, I had a really good game, or like, man, that game just was not fun, or whatever. What, in your opinion, especially at the top table level, when you're in like high stakes, basically, what makes it a good game?
I know it doesn't make it a good game.
Knowing you've done knowing, it sounds kind of corny, but knowing you played your best and you've kind of done everything right, and the opponent didn't do anything weird or gamey, and if you lost, you just accept it and walk away. But it was still a good game because you did what you could.
I would even be walking away from a loss and but knowing that I played the best I could, and it was just it was a loss, but it was still a good game. Like, it doesn't have to be a win to be a good game for me. It's like, still, I played as best as I could. I tried, and it is what it is.
Yeah, that reflection on your own ability, or how you performed on the day is the main part then, right?
Yeah. I mean, even, oh man, it's tough. we take it too seriously sometimes. Like, it's a game. If you lose, guess what? Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get home to your family.
You got work on Monday.
Like, it's all good.
Dude.
You know, I'm sure a lot of us. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of us, we take it too seriously, and it's just like, it's a good game if you learn something.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to really chill on my competitiveness. A lot of guys, I think that's part of the issue with some competitive guys and why they don't necessarily get better, or I've seen them not get better, is because they'll walk away from a game and be like, oh man, that was such a bad game. But there's like 10 things that they could have learned. It's like, well, what did you learn from that? But they're just talking about, oh, I lost because of XYZ. Well, what can you learn from that? What did you learn? Like, what can you take away from that game, and you know, to become better? But
Yep. Yeah, 100%. It's constant improvement in this game, which is kind of wild after playing it for so long.
Yeah,
That's why we're still playing it and why there's so many podcasts for it.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a bit about you guys. We're gonna go into your tournament, which before we get into all the games and stuff, do one of you want to walk us through basically the structure of it? Because it was a little unique. You want to just run us through the setup for the tournament?
I can run through it, Ben. You can correct me on anything that I got wrong. So it was 4 games, hour, 50-minute round, 700 points, and then you could tack on a free banner. The banner did a special thing, and it did not provide a reroll. But in every other way, it performed as a banner. It acted as VPs for scenarios. We also had 3 set scenarios and a random pull at the end. So it was Lords of Battle, Domination, Destroy the Supplies, and then a random from Pool 6.
Was it Destroy the Supplies or Treasure Hoard?
Destroy the Supplies.
Yeah, Destroy the Supplies.
Okay.
Destroy the Supplies was the second game, and then it was Domination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had 6 banners. If I can remember them quickly, it was Terrible to Look Upon, which was essentially a terror banner, 3 inches. 4th and Fear No Darkness, which was a fearless banner, 6 inches. Master Tactician, which was on a roll of a 6. Your heroic action was free. Stalwart, which was within 3 inches, you get the Dom 2 on your warriors. Blade Master, which was a +1 to your fight value. And what am I forgetting? Unbending Resolve, which was everybody gets resistant magic within, I think it was 6 inches. So everybody could take that, and then painting was for your banner. But yeah, so I think the top banner pick was it 4th and Fear No Darkness? Was it the Fearless or the Terror? No, it was the Terror. Terrible to Look Upon. 5 out of the 16 took Terrible to Look Upon, I believe. So, and
it was a good spread. It was a good spread for what people chose. Like
more than I expected to be.
Yeah.
It was literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah.
Like
no one took the Master Tactician.
Yeah. So that's going to get a buff for next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. So essentially 725 points. It wasn't fully an original idea. I remember hearing a podcast about custom banners a long time ago, a couple of years ago, and checked out the event pack quick, and
it's a cool bit of spice having like the hobby category being just a single banner model and stuff. Like it's nice to have something different than the regular stock standard events that we have every month, or multiple every month, right?
There's no reason you couldn't, anybody, right? Sometimes your army's painted, sometimes you want to bring an army and you know it's already painted, you don't have the time to then, you know, paint a whole nother army and get this painted. A banner you can do in a day, a decent job. Right? If you want to spend a whole week, you could come up with a crazy banner. So you can still do really good work with a small amount of time. Just a little bit of effort.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you made me make a banner. I had no plans to make a custom banner until that event, and then you're like, "Oh, hobby points are only for the banner." I'm like,
"Yeah,
I guess I gotta make a banner now."
Hopefully, you can bring it next year too. It won't be bound to your army. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Sneak peek. Let's get into, so we had 3 of you attend. We had Andrew and Zach from our podcast, and Ben, you got to play too, as you were the ringer for the event. We'll go through quickly, just kind of recap your games, how it went for you guys. Andrew, do you want to kick us off with your game 1, I believe was Lords of Battle?
That's right, it was Lords of Battle. I would like to say, just before we start, I enjoyed having 3 of the 4 scenarios known. I don't think I'd enjoy having all of them known, but I really enjoyed having 3 or 2 known, and then you could kind of play around. That was a cool idea.
Good.
And it changed what I brought, but the banner mostly affected what I was going to bring. But I just want to say that was cool, and doing things like that or like veto, just like to change it up, I think is good instead of just all random all the time. Anyways, first game, Lord's Battle. I played Mike Shulk. I always seem to come up against this army. When I play Army Veteras, he played Return of the King, but he didn't bring Legolas. He brought Gimli. And in my head, I was like, this is an easy W. Like, you didn't even bring the best model in the army. But ghosts are hard to kill. I also forgot my army. I didn't forget it. I forgot to use it at the right times. My army rule of re-rolling full wounds in every single game I played. It wasn't important to use, or I forgot it. And this game I got a really sweet charge off, and we had already started combats, and I was like, I forgot the army rule. That sucks. I killed a lot of ghosts, but he killed more not ghosts. So he won that, but it was an arrow loss. It was a 3-5 loss for me. So I only gave up 2 VPs there. So I wasn't too upset with that. And it came down to like the last turn to decide who was going to actually take it. So it was a very good game. I enjoyed playing that game.
Aside from like forgetting the army bonus, was there anything you felt like you could have done differently, or was it kind of just run and smash?
I lined up I played pretty dirty. I lined because I had in this list. I guess we talked about our list, huh? I had Army of Veteras, I had Helm, Haleth, and then mostly Riders of Rohan, 5-roll guard. I had the special banner and then a banner that gave rerolls. And then I just filled it out with a few infantry, and then I maxed out my infantry bows. So I ended up with 20 bows. So I lined up on the back of the board pretty well. But he's playing Ghost, so he marched 11 inches from half of the field. So
crazy.
He marched, and I just decided to charge because if I lost priority, I wouldn't get to charge next turn without spending might. The freedom of my army roll made me have to spend a point of might on Haleth to get a heroic combat off. So I spent 2 points of might there when I probably didn't have to, even though he was rerolling to wounds anyway, and he only needs 6s on 8 dice. But I'm not blaming dice, just saying what happened. No, I don't think. I think I played it pretty well. I did some nice wrapping. I got around to the back. I made Aragorn be cautious of where he was going. I pulled off some cool heroic combats with Helm, and then like moving 10 inches the other side of the battle line and just like leaving his heroes behind and like putting bodies in the way, so he could never attack Helm. I should remember my army roll. I think I would have got only maybe 1 or 2 more ghost kills, but maybe that would have changed it. It was a close game.
Yep. Sounds like a good one. Ben, you're in Lords of Battle. Can you run us through who you played, but also your own list for the tournament?
Yeah. So to make it fair, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just yapping. Sorry, I'll stop yapping. So I played host of the Dragon Emperor. So I had the Dragon Emperor, Utabi, and Brogir, some Black Dragon, 2 Cataphracts. My special banner, I had the Terror banner, and some Cult Acolytes. So just your standard pike line. And my first game, I ran up against Mr. Jacob Wixon. He was playing Defenders of the Pelennor. I think he had Gandalf, and he had Huron. Yeah, so
the first member of Worst Case Ontario that you fought that weekend.
Yeah, first of 3.
Our team.
So we started. He deployed on the other side of a river, so he had to but he had to come across the river. He had a lot of cav, so his cav kind of just ran right over, but left all his infantry behind. And he had Gandalf and Huron with all of his cav. They were kind of dancing around the side of the board, and I was kind of moving up the middle towards the rest of his infantry that were in the river. And what happened was, I think he kind of committed a little too hard to the one side. And then I basically went in with 1 turn of combat. I killed quite a few Warriors of Minas Tirith. I don't remember the exact amount. Then Gandalf and Huron came back from the side, and I had a blunder. I left Brogir out in the open, and he managed to whip Gandalf into Brogir off of heroic combat. He one-shot Brogir. I won priority the next turn and just ganked Gandalf with Rutabi and the Emperor. So it was kind of like a trade, but a more favorable trade in my for me. And then Huron got just tied down by all my Easterlings. We both had the Terror Banner actually, so we were both Curse 7. We were kind of equally failing to charge each other. But that was pretty much it. It was a 16-3 win for me, I believe. Or 16-1, sorry. Win for me.
Poor Jacob Wixon.
Yeah, that's a tough nut to crack the first round. Like, it's just a better battle line.
Yeah.
And Lords of Battle.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
That's brutal. Were your pike line, was it front lining with the acolytes, or did you have some regular guys up there two-handing as well?
No, so I just had the shield in the front with the pikes behind it. So just to keep I don't know, really just higher defense.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Zach, what did you play?
I played Grand Army of the South. I had Saladin mounted. He's my leader. I had 5 raiders with war spear and bow. Then I had Raza with 6 serpent guard and was 3 Mahud warriors with spear and just 2 regular Mahuds and 2 half trolls, I believe was that combination. Then I had Taskmaster with 6 of Bracken guard, 6 Harad warriors with spear, and then wrapped up with Hasharan and 6 Watchers of Karna. 4 of them had the 2 attacks and 2 of them had the bow. So I had quite a large amount of models. It was a lot of fun to play. I played first game was against Josh Hickey, I would believe his name was.
Yep.
New player for sure. He was playing Usurpers, who I seem to run into almost every tournament. And this is like the first time I actually brought a model count that can compete with it, which was nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It shows Wolf as Raz's target. So like if I get in base contact, I get +2 to my fight value, which matches Wolf. And I was able to do, I believe I got a heroic combat into Wolf with a half troll and just killed him in like 1 turn of combat.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It was like doing that, and it was like when I took Wolf out, I was like feeling very confident about winning the left side of the battle because I still had him. It was like his warband and the Taskmasters who also I think marched first turn and did not pass the free might point. So first attempt, no good. It was bloodbath. The guys were chopping, and then it was getting late in the game. I had a lot of wounds dealt. He was close to breaking, and I thought, you know what? I gotta charge. I had an opportunity to charge Freka with Saladin. I was like, I gotta get leader kills. I can definitely try to rack up some more VPs here. And when it came around to the fight phase, I forgot to strike. I had all my might left on Saladin, and I don't think Freka had much left. I forgot to strike. I lose the fight. And Saladin
At
at
no point were you like, oh man, I forgot to strike. Can you strike? Or did you already roll your dice and?
Oh no, yeah, we'd already got done. It was like that was like one of the last combats in the
oh man,
in the turn, and it was just like I just didn't declare, completely forgot about it until it was like, oh, you're 5/5 too, right? I was like, I definitely needed to strike there, and I was like, it'll be fine. Maybe I'll still win. Probably went to a roll off or something that I lost.
You double his dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trapped. Too because he got a couple extra guys into Saladin.
Dude, what?
But I was like, it's fine because originally the plan was I'm gonna strike, and then I forgot to strike. And
how did you let him get trapped?
Andrew, they charged his leader.
Don't question.
I was going in. I was going for the kill, and then I got
so many
killed.
questions.
That's so funny.
You gotta
do what you
gotta do
Right?
sometimes.
The little warriors.
Yeah, I
Oh, man.
was hoping it was going to work out. It didn't. And then I was like, well, I still
coulda
got a little bit
told
of
you that.
time. The next turn, I'm like just so close with that shard. I was like, I could still equalize this. I could take out Freckle with him. And then I botched that fight. And then we that turn he broke and we rolled a 2, like first opportunity. I was like,
Yeah.
well, is what it is. But I won 13-4. I had I doubled him. I think I did 43 wounds. He had
Whoa.
17. So I got the double. And then
Nice.
I broke him without being broken. I think came out to like my points and then something like that. And then he
Good
got
thing you
points
didn't
for
break.
killing my leader.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 extra VPs for killing 2 of his heroes. Because Raza didn't just kill Wolf. He then took out Thorn like a turn or 2 later with another half troll. Just pulled up on
Jeez.
Thorn as well. Raza was
Raza
a
feels
beast
good.
this game. Saladin, big thumbs down.
No,
He's stuck.
that was
Well,
a piloting error, not a
that was
Sullivan's
not.
bad error.
We can't blame Sullivan for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. If he struck, if Sullivan struck, probably a different case.
Okay, but
Yeah.
okay, never mind. Let's move on. I'm
I
gonna
was
get
about
mad.
to. I was about to ask you what your one mistake for the game was, but I don't think we need to talk
That was
about
it.
'cause-
That was it. But really
so
nice guy, really fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Zach and Ben are 1-0. Andrew, you're 0-1 to start the day.
I'm 0-1, but I'm going for the submarine.
Yeah, that's right.
Into round 2, which you played Destroy the Supplies.
And I also played Josh Hickey.
Oh, nice. How'd it
And
go?
he was a new player. He did have Usurper, so he was getting +1 wound. He had Hatred Rohan, which was annoying. For some reason, Rohan doesn't have Hatred Dunlin back. But anyway,
It is
it's a
strange.
gripe.
I will give you that complaint if it does make
Is there
sense.
is there a good army that has hatred?
Arnor does.
Arnor's
Angmar.
Hatred
Hatred
Angmar.
Angmar.
Top the wall? Atop the wall has
Hatred
Hatred
Mordor.
Mordor, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
An
Andrew.
evil specific rule.
Yeah, so that was Destroy the Supplies. He outnumbered me vastly, and I said to him, I'm sorry for this, but I'm going to sit back and shoot you. I have 20 bows. And he was a super nice guy. I apologized basically every single turn, and he was just happy to be playing. And the keen-eyed archers of Rohan put in some devastating work into the
Nice.
usurper lines, needing 5s to wound the D4 guys. I had enough shot. I felt like I was playing 40k. Honestly, I was rolling so many dice. I was like, okay, 6 shots into here, in the ways through. Eventually got to a point where I killed everyone in the way of Freka, and I took 2 shots or more at Freka, and I rolled 2 6s to wound, and he failed his fate and died.
Oh,
And I
right.
picked
Oh.
Freka off
You're
before
a
the lines
bully.
even clashed. Yeah, that was not nice. I felt really bad.
No, you didn't.
But
But
I
you
did.
continued to do it anyways.
Yeah. Did
Well,
it for
I'm
the
trying
rest
to
of your
win,
games,
but I
too.
still felt bad.
Oh,
I helped
yeah.
him out. I helped him out. I was being gracious, and we were measuring to make sure like his bases could get into places that he was like, I don't think. I'm like, no, let's figure it out. We got it. So
Yeah.
we had a good game. The lines clashed. Forgot my armor roll again. So there's that. I did a ton of damage. That was all in sort of the middle two. The one on the middle on the right, or my left. Was going well. There was one turn where he sort of punched back and killed a lot of stuff, but he was already broken by that point. On the other side of the board, interestingly, I only had 2 heroes, right? And he had Freka. Well, he didn't have Freka anymore, but he had Thorn, and then he had Wolf. Wolf, he ran to the other side of the board, to where Helm was. Helm was sort of up further, closer to his side, and then he ran Wolf down the other side trying to get my supply, and I only had a handful of dudes there. And he unfortunately didn't end up getting it. I just had enough bodies, and Wolf boshed a fight. He didn't take any wounds, but that sort of saved me from him not getting a supply.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just cavalry running across, each turn, grab a supply, next turn. I guess it takes 2 turns, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had nothing in his backline because he was broken. I'd shot everything to pits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was nothing too crazy. like he broke and then stuff was running. He didn't break me. Yeah.
New player to the league, and you gave him quite the experience. Sounds like shot him to bits, eh?
Show him the bits. I did give him the advice that Usurpers generally takes more bows. He probably should have as many bows as me, and he said he'd consider running it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good game, but we had fun. At least I don't know if it was a good game, but we had fun, and the score was a 20-2 victory for me.
Nice, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about there. Ben, round 2. Who did you end up drawing against?
I had to play this bum named Zach Fleming. I don't know if you guys know him. He's kind of a menace in the league.
I know he's a bum.
Yeah. Anyways, so I had to play
I'll
Zach.
accept that.
It was destroy the supplies. So we kind of deployed off the rip. I deployed kind of as you would, and destroy the supplies. We kind of moved up. There was a house and some fences on the side, so I kind of like split my forces a little bit with the Emperor in the middle and a small amount of guys, and then Rutabi and Brogir with the rest of the troops. I left my cult acolytes back, and I left a pike back, just kind of gauge how Zach was feeling, whether he was going to pressure my objectives or not. And he did. He pressured my objectives. So he came around the side. So I didn't know it was Suladan, but Suladan and a Mahud Raider on a camel came around the side of a building towards my first objective. And the Mahud Raider killed both of my cult acolytes just off the impact hits.
I watched that.
awesome.
Watched that.
Jared was there to
That
watch
bad.
that. So there goes my
Ben's like,
backline defense. I was kind of cheesed. I was like, wow, I forgot they were strength 4. So he's winning me on 4s. So there goes my whole backline defense protecting my objectives. So he got that objective. We kind of fought in the middle a turn. The Emperor was fighting and then I had Brogir enchant blades on Rutabi, so kept Zach from charging her. You don't really want to charge Rutabi with enchant blades. So next turn, Raza gets in. Raza gets in on Rutabi. Secret target. We're both fight 6. He's got a spear support, and I think he rolled a 4 high. And that was on the spear, so he couldn't might it. So Raza and I had 2 pikes. So Rutabi's +1 to wound because of the army bonus, and I one-shot Raza. That was holding down his on the right, my right hand flank by the houses. I had 2 cataphracts run up the right hand side to the back objectives, and they got held up for pretty much the whole game. Zach got got 2 objectives. He got the center and my left objective, and I kind of had a little weird maneuver. I kind of pulled the Emperor back from the front line to pressure Zach to run Suladan away from the Emperor, and it worked. He ran Suladan away, and I mean, pretty much from there, I just eviscerated his troops. Like they died so easy, and they were dying way too fast. So for a good, I'd say 4 turns, I just shielded and didn't kill anything. And Zach was 1 model off of break, and I just shielded and didn't kill anything, and then nothing ran away for so long. I kept getting priorities, so I kept tying everything up. He couldn't take any courage checks. I did kill Suladan. I forgot that. Suladan charged. Suladan charged Rutabi. I kind of forget how this happened.
Well,
I
want to
brought
hear
him back
Zach's take on this.
Yeah, I'll let Zach say that. I forget how it happened. I just killed him.
What we remember is Saladin went around the back with a camel rider to go get objectives.
Yeah,
Ben
now Suladan is back behind Zach's own line, so he's up behind.
Okay, so he came back.
I peeled him back around to get away from the Dragon Emperor, because I was like, Saladin can't fight this. He couldn't fight Freka. How is he going to fight the Dragon Emperor? Like, not even close.
Should have been able to fight Freka, but anyway.
Pulling him back, and because now it's like, my best hope is the fact that I can get the game to end before Ben can finish getting through my lines and getting to the objectives. Because I was like, right now I have the objective advantage, which is good. And he had those 2 cataphracts that were getting tied up, but then his other line with Rutabi was starting to push through. And there was a moment of I had the chance to charge Rutabi, who's fight 6. Sullivan's fight 5. I was like, I can't even charge her. I couldn't charge her. Because I think at this point I had probably no might left. Even if I did, I was like, the odds of me pulling this off are so slim. So I just tried to like bog down some of his other guys. And I forgot that this scenario is also double banner points. So whereas not just my leader, but double banner, I probably should have just sacrificed the objective, ran Suladin away to like a back corner somewhere. I just charged in to try and like whittling his numbers down. And it just got ganged up on it and died.
Yeah.
Because Rutabi's fight 6, and I couldn't beat
6. Rutabi's a beast because she's fight 6. She rerolls failed wound rolls when I'm trapping you too. So I think I had you trapped, and so I got general wounds or general kill
if you needed
and
the
double
reroll.
banner.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I did.
Has that unyielding combat stance, so she can potentially be knocked over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting it, both objectives in the back, killed Suladin, and got the banner VPs because I killed his special banner as well, which was Fearless, which
I was gonna say,
countered
which
my
banner did
banner.
you take, Zach? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I took the Fearless one, which, like Ben said, it was great because he was the first turn I charged a bunch of guys. He's like, wait, my Terror banner. I'm like, Fearless banner.
Yeah.
We also forgot to note I had the 2 Watchers of Karna bows. I had them perched on a rock at the beginning of deployment, and they were just taking pot shots at the Dragon Emperor the first 2 turns. And originally we were like, oh yeah, D6, and I got a wound off on the Dragon Emperor with just a pot shot, which was great. And it was like, oh wait, D7. So it was 6, 5,
or dice, yeah.
So I re-rolled
and
the
I think
extra
you
dice.
still rolled the by 4, right?
I got it, but you got your fate.
I got the
So
fate.
you passed.
Yeah,
It was
he took 2 fate off with just before we even entered combat. So I was
nice.
I mean, there was not much of a threat to the Emperor from your army, but
that was the only threat.
Yeah, that was the only threat.
I was like, maybe this is gonna, like, when you failed the first fate roll, it was like, do I have a chance here? Like, am I just gonna be able to take the Dragon Emperor out of the commission? Which was pretty. It was a pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a good game. I did feel bad for
everything
shielding.
else collapsed.
Yeah, I felt bad for just shielding, but
nah.
Like Andrew said about sitting back and shooting.
Yeah,
you're in a tournament. You're playing a win. It was the right strategic decision. And you caught it at the right time when there was like 3 more models of mine left that you needed to kill. And it was just like, oh yeah, I can't strike here. And if you had kept killing my guys, which it was happening with those fights, then I probably win the game because Suladin never gets to the point where he gets taken out and it gives you all those VPs. I would have had the 2 objectives, you would have had none, so you would have got the 3 for breaking without me breaking, while I would have had the 6 for the 2 objectives. So it was like tactically on your part, you played it flawlessly. It was exactly what you needed to do.
You.
It's just a bummer when no one fled.
Through 2 games, you come up against a fight 4 Gondor and a fight 4, well, majority fight 4. I know you have half trolls and a fight 5 Solid, Zach. But I'm assuming with the Dragon Emperor giving you fight 5, that is kind of the main advantage of the list. Like, is that what you kind of carried you through the battle line?
Yeah, that the fight 5 and then also being 3 dice with a banner, you're 4 dice, so you're 50-50 to 6. So I'm very likely to win fights, which is what happened. I just kept winning fights and then 3 dice and then Emperor, the host of the Dragon Emperor, +1 to win was supported by 2 other models. So then I'm +1 to win with 3 dice. Well, 1 dice is +1 to win. So 3 dice total.
Yep.
It hits hard. So.
And with the Dragon Emperor, were you playing him back, like in behind the line, or were you getting up into combat?
I was playing him pretty aggressively. I had to, I think, because most of, like my first game against Jacob, I was outnumbered, and same with Zach. The 80 mil base just plugs up such a large gap where if he's charging models into me, they're likely to die. But if he's not there and if he's just sitting back, it's a waste of 200 points just for a banner and a +1 fight.
Yeah.
He is still a fight 7, Elven Blade, 3 attacks plus the Palanquin attacks. So he's busted. He's got a lot. He's not busted, but he's got a lot to him. He's good in combat.
Yeah, and him adding 80 millimeters to your battle line helps with the 3 deep, like actually plug in gaps, like
Exactly.
you said, for sure.
Yeah.
And going up against a list like Zach's, I think he's. Were you fight 5 max in your list, Zach?
Yeah, fight 5 max.
Yeah.
Saladin's fight 5, Sharon's fight 5. Well, I guess potential fight 6 with Raza if he's in the target. But
That
that's
didn't last
otherwise
long,
he's fight 4, which can be super rough. But you can't make him fight 5 either because you're the grand leader of your army's fight 5.
Yeah.
So how can some just Joe Blow be fight 5?
Because and the Emperor killed the Taskmaster and the Hisharan. So and then Raza also died. So it was just Suladan for heroes left. So he had like pretty much no might. And Rutabi was killing the half trolls. I was just putting her in the fight, so I was winning the fights.
It was like early too. It was like the first they were like within a combat or 2 of each other, like a turn or 2, where I lost every hero but Suladan. And then it like my biggest issue throughout the day, as we'll go through the rest of my games too, is he's just so fragile with just D5. He's got the 3 wounds, but 1 fate's not great. Being fight 5, you can't really put him into combat unless you know the odds are in your favor. So it was pretty tough, especially with being how expensive he is. Maybe I was just misplaying him too. Well, let's say I was 100% misplaying him all day. But losing my 3 other heroes, which it would be like, okay, they could help relieve some stress, hopefully, that I could get Zelda to go do some things. I lost all of them within a couple turns, and it was like, well, now I'm in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's the end of round 2. I mean, Ben's chopping up our team, our worst case Ontario team. He's 2-0 against them so far.
I didn't want to let him lose at his own tournament, you know. I had to look.
I didn't want to win my own tournament either.
But going into round 3, halfway through the day, Andrew, you're sitting at 1-1.
Yeah.
The scenario was fill the blank.
Domination.
Who did you play?
I played John Gill, who brought Linden. He had Gilgalad with Kingsguard. He had Glorfindel, and he had Círdan.
Yeah, with terrible to look upon, so he's terrifying.
Yeah, so he's terror.
Feels like old edition when he had Aura Dismay on that list, but
yeah, it's true.
No.
That was the coolest to see. It was cool to see pure elves come out and seeing Gilgalad. Playing Rohan and seeing Gilgalad and Glorfindel in the same list, like, how do I even begin to fight? Like, the best I can do, assuming Glorfindel strikes, is tie him. And that's me requiring a 5/6 on my strike and him requiring just a strike. And then we tie. And he's probably striking higher than me.
And he's got Elven Blade.
It's just like such a daunting task. But so I'm glad I got the opportunity to play it. Domination. He had 7 bows, but I had 20, so I was sitting back. But my shooting, unfortunately, didn't really do very much. I got a few kills, which is, what are Kingsguard, like 11-point troops?
Pretty good. Spear and Shield are 11, 12 if you give them the upgrade.
Yeah, so I guess I did better than I thought. The first turn I picked off 2, and then anyway, it didn't get a lot done. He was shooting me back and was doing just as well with 7 bows, but they're elf bows. What I did have was numbers. I had sort of this ragtag infantry that I bring to boost up my bow numbers. They're perfect for grabbing objectives. So I placed 2 on one side and 2 on the other side all the way back of the board. And I was like, these are probably mine to the end of the game, unless something goes terribly, terribly wrong. And then there was one in the middle, and there was sort of one off to my left that we were fighting over, and then there was one in the back that was he had. That was his. I wasn't grabbing that. And all the fighting kind of happened in the middle of the board. We clashed. He played Glorfindel a little bit aggressively. Like hero combated in one turn and killed a bunch of stuff, but then the next turn I got priority. And I surrounded him. And he boshed his dice roll and Helm punched Glorfindel in the face and killed him. Which is pretty cool.
Wow.
That was rough.
Lucky.
If it wasn't for that, this game would be totally different. So that took away a lot of his killing power. Then he just had Gilgalad on foot, which is, Gilgalad's still a beast, +1 a wound, but he's on foot.
He's avoidable.
Yeah, he's avoidable. You can send one person into him and be like, you're going to spend 3 might or one of your 3 might killing a infantry? Probably not. Yeah, he was kind of pushing me back. I was kind of letting him come forward as well. We were kind of fighting over this barricade. And anyway, on one of the last turns, I think that one went to dice down. Yeah, I went to dice down. I had 2 Royal Guard that I charged onto the second objective he was holding. I think he still had higher numbers or so, but anyway, I reduced his score there at least. And then, yeah, he got Gilgalad into Helm. There's nothing I could do about it. I lost priority. There wasn't enough bodies left to be body blocking. I misplayed 1 body block 1 turn. I left too big of a gap, and Gilgalad got way deeper in my line than I wanted to. That was a mistake. Also forgot my armor roll again. That was a mistake. And then we were about to roll dice. It was the last combat of the turn because I picked all the other ones first. And last combat of the turn.
I already know what you're gonna say.
And Jeremy goes, dice down. I'm like, dice down. Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
Dude.
And he was obviously upset, and I was like,
yeah.
And we were actually rolling it out, and you came around specifically our table, and you're like, guys, dice down.
Oh, I made sure. I'm like, John, I don't care who's rolling the dice here. You're not getting whatever you're trying to do.
I said in secret, I said, if you kill Helm, I'll give you the points for it. So we rolled it out. Yeah, but then you came around and you said, no, dice down. And I was like,
dice down.
I tried to give it to you, John. But we did roll it out, and he didn't do any wounds. He obviously won the fight, but he didn't do any wounds to Helm. No, he didn't do any wounds. So it was, it did not matter. So he wasn't as upset. But I did win that game, a very narrow 9-7, super, super close game.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I could win that game again. I think I'd lose a lot more times than I won.
7 out of 10 times you lose or something like that.
Yeah.
Glorfindel disappearing is uncharacteristic for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How bad was the whiff?
Well, I had him surrounded, so Helm had 8 dice. And then I think Haleth was in there too. Maybe he pulled it off. And I had 2 or 3 other troops in there. But I mean, Helm getting 8 dice is going to probably kill almost anything most of the time.
Was Glorfindel on foot?
No, he charged in with Asfaloth.
How'd you get up 8 dice?
Trapped.
Oh yeah, trapped.
Yeah, 3.
6 dice.
You don't get cav bonus.
Oh, maybe I didn't have 8 dice. Maybe it was 6.
All right. Well,
I'm sure
cheated.
John would have. I didn't cheat. John would have called me if I cheated. That's for sure. John's a good player. Yeah. Anyway, even 6 dice, even so.
Yeah. No. To strength 5 and 2-handed weapon, like it's gonna.
That'll do it.
Yeah. I think I took a 1 or 2 fade off Glorfindel though. Oh, Asfaloth. I took fade off Asfaloth, which didn't matter because Helm just punched Glorfindel. Yeah, so that was that game. Close game. Really fun. Really good game. Super, super, super competitive. Maybe my favorite game of the day in terms of how
John's always
competitive
a
it
good
was.
game.
Yeah.
Cool. Ben, round 3. Who did you draw in domination?
I drew against Scott Cameron, who had Assault upon Helm's Deep double ballista.
Good.
I think everyone's favorite list of the tournament.
This was a doozy. So he had the Urka Captain Leader with berserkers and pikes, crossbows, banner, more captains with berserkers, and then the 2 ballistas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was
with the Blade
plus one fight. So he had fight 6 berserkers with pike line.
Yeah.
So he had a higher fight pike line than me. So I was
weird to think about.
Yeah, I know. I was
the
so
Bears are there
nervous
for.
going into this game. Yeah. So yeah, Dom, we had the center objective. I placed one off the back. We played on like a woodland board. So I placed it in some woodland terrain, and I placed one just kind of like up kind of near the middle. And then he did the same, one in the middle, one near the back. So we each kind of had one to our own. But it didn't stay like that the whole game. So we deploy. He deploys his ballistas kind of in the corner, both pointing towards the middle. The middle of the board was pretty open. There's like one tree kind of blocking, and he was on either side of that tree. And yeah, he deployed pretty well close to the center, and I did as well because I didn't want to take any shots from the ballistas. And that didn't stop him. He still shot at me. I kind of had I had a blunder. I put my cataphracts, charged them into the berserkers, just regular, no fight bonus, but they're still my cataphracts fight 4. Just 2 berserkers, and they got like clapped. They were like destroyed. So there goes like 30 points off the first turn of combat. And I was like, okay, yeah, staying away from that. And I ran, I had Rutabi kind of in the middle, ran Rutabi back towards the Emperor. And in the meanwhile, he's shooting at my pike line with the ballistas, shooting at the Emperor. He gets to reroll 1s to hit and to scatter with that army bonus. He must have rolled like 4 or 5 1s to reroll. It was crazy.
I was like, what's crazy? Yeah, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so he just kept shooting at me. We fought. Broger here to hit a nasty tremor on a berserker and his general captain. So the general captain is prone, and the Emperor charged in. What does the Emperor do? He whiffs. He doesn't kill him, of course. I won the fight, but I didn't get any wounds. So he was still prone though, because I won the fight. Next turn, he went. Okay, another thing to note: I didn't win a single. I'm not even lying. I didn't win a single priority this game. He had every single priority. So I was using all my might for moves. Sounds like I'm blaming dice. I'm not blaming the dice for the loss. I'm just saying. I didn't win a priority. That's fine though. I was calling moves, and I was winning move off. So I lost that move off though, coincidentally, the one that got his captain to stand up. So his captain stood up and ran away. And what else happened? He started moving his ballistas as I was moving my line, and I had the center objective pretty well secured. I had cleared off the left flank that was sitting on an objective. So I had a couple stragglers left alive from the battle, and I sat a cult acolyte and a regular pike on one objective because I needed the scatter. That was the thing, is I couldn't sit one dude on an objective. I needed the scatter in case he hits and no one else to scatter to. And I had one other cult acolyte that actually got hit by a ballista and survived and got flung back onto the objective. And he had his singular crossbow run all the way from the center down to my cult acolyte. And on the last turn, we fought, and he killed that cult acolyte on the last. Yeah,
with a crossbow.
And the cult acolyte
in combat. Yeah, I lost the combat, and he killed him. And then on the last turn, because I saw the crossbow coming down, I was like, dude, he might kill him. Strength 4. He only needs 4, so he only needs 1 turn of combat. So I started to run the straggler pike away from that objective down to the bottom objective. What does he do the next turn? He shoots that cult acolyte that's now alone in the other objective, blows him up. Now I'm not on that objective at all. And then now that ended the game too. And now my pike is in between the 2 objectives. And then now he has the bottom one. So he had the bottom one all to himself. He had his back corner all to himself. He had the center one off to the side all by himself. And by this point, the Emperor had been knocked off of his palanquin as well. That's the only thing that can knock the Emperor prone is with a direct shot, and he hit a direct shot on the Emperor.
Yeah.
And knocked him off his palanquin. So the Emperor was on foot, and that took away like a huge threat. And then I scored the center one, but he was contesting it. And then that was pretty much it. So it was 12-3 loss to me.
It's a tough one.
I was so nervous the whole game. I was like, I need to play this perfectly because it's just crazy. Evil siege weapons, just being able to shoot in their own combats. Like, he doesn't care about a single pike. He's just gonna blow me up. Like, what does he care? Yeah.
I was gonna
even
say,
even if he hits his own guy, he's blasting him through yours, right? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's why they're so good. You can always like evil siege weapons. It's crazy that I was gonna say last edition that before it was rerolling all hits and all wounds, I believe.
Yeah.
That's
Like it
busted.
was
That's crazy.
ridiculous. The
Yeah.
ballista was anyways.
I felt the
edition.
strength of the ballistas for sure, and the fight 6. I was losing a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I think knowing that the first 3 scenarios weren't Maelstrom makes siege weapons way more viable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually.
I thought about
That's
that
very
during the
true.
day. Like, yeah, why did only one person bring siege weapons? Like,
That's a
you
good
know you're
point.
gonna get 3 of your games.
Would've been a good day for some bolt throwers, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what? Keeping that in mind, like it might make sense to. I mean, who knows? Maybe a ban on siege weapons because of that. If we keep the scenarios that way, because
or
that
you
is
just
true.
force a Maelstrom or force a split
Force 'em.
deployment.
Like a
Yeah.
hold
Yeah.
ground or something.
Something.
Hold ground, I find, is the most tolerable Maelstrom.
Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
still ending up in, like, you're trying to get to the middle. Everyone's still going to the same place. It's just
Yeah,
how do you
everyone's
get
going to the middle
there.
anyway.
Yeah.
The one where you pick up the
Even-
treasure's rough, because if you deploy all on one board edge and then it's on the other side, it's like game over, shake hands. It's like, what's the point?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Convergence is okay too. I don't mind convergence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a good call. It was a wise, smart
It was
pick by Scott.
It was
so
a very good list.
can't blame for that.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Everybody had the same, scenarios in front of them. So
That's
Yeah.
the whole thing when it comes down to, like, any tournament setup, what have you. Everyone's got the same information going into it,
Yeah.
so no one's got an upper hand. You choose with what you bring, how you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You can't put it on tournament setup at all.
times 1,000, I 100% like yes to that.
Yeah, so Zach, round 3 domination. Your favorite scenario? How'd it go?
It is, well, Pocket War is probably my
Second
favorite.
favorite.
Yeah.
Favorite. But
Top three. I got to play Preston, which was a lot of fun. Really great guy
Nice.
in our league. Really good
Win
player.
rates. He's on
Yeah,
our
one of the
team.
win rates.
So I avenged myself slightly. Oh, spoiler.
Okay, here we go.
Spoiler.
All right,
Shoot.
moving to round 4. We don't need to talk about this one.
He brought Battle of 5 Armies. He had Legolas with some Mirkwood Elves. Then he had Gloin with some Iron Hills. And he brought the bear.
I'm just gonna jump in here in typical Zach fashion and cut you off.
Go
before I
for it,
forget.
man. I'm all here for it.
I know you are.
Let's see what you gotta say.
Preston, at the end of the day, gave Zach and I Council of the North stickers. He actually talked
yes.
about these a long time ago, and I hadn't
Yeah.
seen them, and I forgot about them. And he's like, "Oh, Andrew, here, take these stickers." And I was like, "Oh, these are so cool!" And I put it right in my case right away. I was on the ground, and we were cleaning up, and I stopped cleaning up, and I stuck it on my model case immediately. It was awesome. Thanks,
Nice.
Preston.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
He's a legend.
it was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
just super nice guy.
I heard his army
Um,
was really well painted too.
He always brings really good stuff, I think.
It was Ben's. Don't hype it.
Army.
Oh my. Oh, just can we cut that part? Just snip it.
We'll leave it in.
Well, I learned my lesson with Saladin. I kept him behind my
Took
line.
you 2 games getting them trapped
Well,
both times.
Especially with Legolas too. It's like like, he's just gonna get sniped, and then I'm gonna lose my hero. He's gonna lose his horse, whatever. So I kept him like hidden behind a rock where his banner would still be. Like, we kind of both deployed in the middle where we just engage each other. So I was like, okay, I can kind of tuck him away here. He's out of sight. So hopefully his banner effect will do something. But besides that, I can't put him in here. Like, he can't fight Gloin. He can't fight regular elves. And he had I believe he had the +1 fight value banner. So
Yeah,
it
I
was
think
like,
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just can't do that. Bjorn was off to the side. Like, early turn, our lines collapsed. I had my Mahud Raider flank around to, like, just this little rocky outcropping behind the main objective where he had Legolas by himself. and I kind of had him climb up there and just like try to keep impact hitting Legolas as he tried to run away, and then he failed his jump test over the ledge, so he just collapsed. And then I was able to charge him. It didn't matter. I don't think I got any wounds off. But it was like just the threat of the impact hits is so nice with that raider.
Yeah.
I basically used all my grad raiders to sit on objectives. On my back left, I put two on his top left. I had my 2 watchers of Karna on my back right, and then with the ones with the bows, and then everyone else was just kind of like shoved in the middle fighting. I had one guy like one watcher in combat with Beorn, which was great. They got +2 to their courage test, charging terrifying models, which was very useful, especially when you can shoot into your own combats. So instead of getting Beorn, get any heroic combats or do some monster brutal attacks, I sniped my own guy. I was like, this is perfect. Because now a round of combat goes by and Beorn just sits there and does nothing. So I basically tried the rest of my game to keep feeding him one guy and hopefully shoot him out. Nothing did happen, but by then, like that one turn was probably huge because it let me get a couple other wins with my fights. Gloin was Raz's target, and I deployed Raz right across from him, charged in, and I won the roll off because we both struck. Maybe did I get a higher fight on that, I think? Or I can't remember. I ended up winning the fight and I dealt some wounds. I think he failed a fate. It was rough. So then the next turn he won priority. Or I won priority. He heroic moved. And then I tried to counter like there's probably 3 or 4 turns in a row where I won priority, he heroic moves, and I was like, Taskmaster, let's go. And I kept getting the free heroic move, and then I just lose the roll off.
Oof.
So I was like, well, at least I'm burning your might and still have my 1 to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Which felt good. But I was like, can I have 1, please?
Yeah.
My Hisharin was putting pressure on his banners. I think I took out his fight value bonus pretty early. And then it was just like slowly collapsing in. I believe this was the game every time I rolled for my Bracken to win I'd win the fight and be like, okay, he's got spear support. This is the dice that's gonna have the +1 to wound from the Bracken. I chose the wrong dice. It was like I needed the 6 or a 5 because it'd make it a 6. And it was the other dice that kept hitting the 5. And I was like, oh, I just couldn't kill anything.
It's classic.
But then the Prad Warriors did a lot of work. I ended up winning 13-4. It was a really fun game. I just had I was just able to have control of the objectives because I had the 3 outer ones. I did put a guy on his so my top right objective. But he was able to get Beorn there the last turn, kill that guy to claim that objective. And then I had a really big turn killing in the middle, which I think he would have had the more numbers within the 3 inches to the center objective. But I had a really good turn where I guess enough of my guys finally decided to kill something that I was able to shift. Oh, I killed Legolas. He was on the middle. And his dominant 3 probably would have helped him. But Legolas was taken out, and that gave me the numbers to take the middle objective contested. It was a really fun game, really, really tight. It was good. I think domination plays well when you have a higher model count. You can definitely he couldn't threaten my other objectives while I was able to just have guys sit there. And my Raiders probably wouldn't have done much with the way the board was set up. Because I wouldn't have been able to, like, it would have just clogged up with the bases. I think it was just better having them sit out there and just have the objective. And Suladin did nothing. He just was a banner effect until late in the game when Legolas started getting a bit closer, and I just ran him around this other giant mountain because I was like, I'm not taking any chances here. Which sucks when you have 40 point model or something that you're not even using.
But he survived.
But he survived. And
There you go.
yeah, 13-4-1. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good game. I look forward to facing him again at another point.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. So going into the final round, is everybody on 2-1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to Zach, because your final round.
Oh,
You
yeah,
want
makes
to just
sense.
walk us through that one quick?
I played Chris from Buffalo. It was another Battle of Five Armies, another
Back to back.
Legolas, which
yeah.
Legolas is just so scary to Sullivan. Most things I think coming out of this tournament may have given me Sullivan trauma, but Legolas, I was like, he scares me in general. And as Sullivan is like, there's just bad news bears. And then he had some elves. Then he had Nori, who I made Raz's target. Never even got in combat with each other. That never didn't work out. Some Iron Hills dwarves, and he had a Lake Town Captain militia with I think it was like 3 or 4 Lake Town militia. I guess they just pop up some numbers, and then Gwahir. So no bear, but the eagle. Probably even worse.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting lead from the front. So we each had 4 heroes. I was the only one with a hero of legend, which was nice. But my hero of legend now, it's like I got to be careful. Gwahir just pouncing him out of nowhere. Legolas sniping him. It's a good list to threaten Lord lead from the front. Really, Gwahir can be on one objective, fly to a different one. So we were playing on. It was Beorn's. The terrain was Beorn's house. So the one objective was kind of right there, and I was like, you know what, I'm going in the house. And I ended up at some point in the game dismounting Saladin and just putting him in the house because I had him on his horse on the other side, out of Legolas's view. Far like Gwahir was on the other side of the board, but I was like, man, now I'm not even in range of a banner. If I dismount him and get him in where I'm trying to like push out of the house, I can maybe get some rerolls. So I did that. Now Sharon was just chopping up a elf a turn as he was like pushing his way out. I had some his watchers were just trapped in there because there was another door, but I was like, I walk out there, they're just gonna get shot by the elven bows, and they're D3, so I was like, I can't. They're stuck in here. And our main battle lines just met over the middle objective. And I had the Taskmaster was pushing for the far right objective. And I was like, there's this little barn thing. I was like, maybe he can crawl in there and it'll be like sort of within range. And at least then Gwahir can't pounce on him. But right before I could get there, gobbled up by the eagle. He's done. Taskmaster's gone. I was like, well, now I can't. That objective's lost. And I had the Sharon and Saladin focusing on the one, and then Raza was kind of on the flank, and I was like pushing him in. There was a lot of killing back and forth, and then he abandoned the left objective with Legolas to push it towards the middle, which I was like, thank goodness. At least that way I can kind of get one objective without worry. And then I had an opportunity where he's like got Legolas right near Raz, and I roll combated into him. And I was like, you never know. And I won the fight. And then I didn't do any wounds, even with all my rerolls. I was like, that's so close. I was like, this is my opportunity.
Yeah.
And then he died the next turn, I believe. So I couldn't contest the middle objective. I couldn't contest the right. So we got those. I lost 8-4. It was a tight game. It was close. There's a lot in the middle. There's it's so hard to play against a Gwahir. It can just do so much. Legolas has such a big threat range, the two of them.
Yeah.
And you can only score with heroes, so you got to be so conscious of not losing them early, like I did with the Taskmaster. And then at that point, it was going to be tough.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Preston take Beorn over Gwahir, because for 50 less points, you basically get a better model, in my opinion. And then I think like the difference between you facing the bear and then going and facing a Guahir kind of, do you think that had an effect on your success?
No,
Or was
no. I definitely knew Guahir was scary. And I think it was just maybe board wise. Um I was like I put some guys in the house and it's like I technically needed to put Solid in there because otherwise he would have been a target for sure.
Mhm.
And then losing the Taskmaster early on, maybe I shouldn't have exposed him so much, maybe kept him more confined in the battle line. But then he had like Guahir was like hopping over my battle line to kill a couple of my raiders, then hopping back over to his side. It was just, and then nothing. I got nothing that can fight Guahir. I
Yeah.
got nothing that can fight Legolas, really.
Yeah, I guess my question is, if Preston had taken Guahir instead of Bayorn, would you have felt a difference in
Oh,
that game?
that game, sure, yeah,
Like, is Guahir scarier than Bayorn? Is basically what I'm getting
I
at.
would say yes
Yeah.
because of the distance. Like the turn where I end up shooting the guy in the combat. Sure, that would have been successful against Guahir, anyways. But would that have happened? I don't know. Maybe he could have just flew over in the first place. He could have attacked my back objectives and just, he may not have been able to capture them himself, but he would have made sure I didn't have models on them either.
Yeah.
That would have
Yeah.
been a big thing. Bjorn's got a charge in bear form, so he didn't have the opportunity to go and try and push further down. He had to keep kind of attacking that side battle line. So
Yeah.
Wahir could have done whatever he wanted. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think if Preston had Guahir, I probably would have been more in trouble.
Yeah. It's interesting to see, like, back to back, you're facing the same lists but slightly different, and just kind of the way that they're
Yeah,
built. But
but both with
uh,
Legolas,
oh, everybody takes Legolas except for
Except
Mike
for
Schultz,
Mike Schultz.
apparently.
except for Mike.
So you ended up what, 2-2 on the day?
2-2. I
2-2.
was pretty happy with that outcome. I hadn't brought the Farad out in a while, so it was a lot of fun.
Can't complain about a 2-2.
Yeah.
No, no. If I can
Was
go
there any?
500, that's where it's at for me.
Yeah. Was there any like big takeaway from the day? I mean, hiding Saladin is apparently a necessity.
Yeah.
I think it's just Saladin's in such a tough spot because you want him up there and he can kill things, but he doesn't have Bane of Kings either. It's only reroll once. But
Yeah.
he's so pricey. And because he's the banner, he's extra VPs that way, he's useful. But if you lose him, you lose so much, he's so many points that it's like you could take some other heroes that are probably cheaper. I mean, the Golden King's obviously the better choice. He's just does
Yeah.
everything Saladin can, but better. So
Yeah, having that many points into a fight 5 model is pretty tough. You think about some of the other ones, like Golden Kings is kind of an anomaly in my opinion, but like something like Gothmog around the same points but only fight 5, and some of those other models that are only fight 5, it's tough to get the return when you're spending 150 points.
Mhm.
yeah, and I
I
guess
think
he's supposed to be more like a support hero, kind of sit
Yeah.
back with his banner and his stand fast, but spending that much on a guy just sitting there, and then facing two Legolases where it's like I can't really protect him because he can just shoot through everybody and snipe him out if he wanted.
Well, it's also tough
Is a
facing
worry.
3 out of the 4 lists had fight 5 in it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, base
fight
tree.
5 warriors, right? Like that's not gonna happen every day, but
And fight value boost.
yeah.
If I had a thought about it, if I was to go back and choose a different banner, I would take the fight value boost because I did have a lot of fight 4. So where I would plant that banner, I could get up to fight 5. And if I had it
Mhm.
near the half trolls, I could get some fight 6. So
Yeah, true.
I think that I was worried about my low courage. It never really came into play, especially when it comes to breaking with Saladin stand fast.
Yeah.
I should have thought
Ascendant.
about that as well. The Ascendant.
Yep.
So I should have went with the fight value. I think that may have helped me. But also, I kind of thought everyone was going to take the fight value buff because
Yeah.
it's very good return.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it would be the most popular one, but it didn't end up being the most popular.
No.
Nope.
But the list is good if you have the momentum. I found.
I think
Like
you got to
when
take
I
Amdur next
was
time.
and yeah, I wanted to play pure Harad, but couldn't build any
Oh, I
actual
see. I
pure
see.
Harad lists.
I was
That
gonna
was
say,
my
what was the
problem.
thought process there? Yeah, because
I
I've
just
always
don't.
found playing. I was just saying,
You're,
playing Sillidan. I found you have to keep him in the back for like half the time, and it does feel bad. You're like, oh, I want this guy in combat, but then in the latter half, then you can like he's just a cleanup crew. Because you're right, you
yeah,
do need to protect him. He's a little pushover.
yeah. I just with what I had, I originally wanted to do a Serpent Horde list, but I didn't have the models. And then it was like, okay, what if I do a Harad list? It was like, okay, well, I don't have enough of those models to do that properly. And then I was like, well,
Yeah,
I could do Grand Army of the South, and it's just gonna be janky. It's not gonna
that makes
be the
sense.
fully optimized version that most Amber obviously in there is way better and makes that list a lot better because now I have a combat hero that I can throw in and not worry about dying.
Yeah,
Going the Golden King obviously is also a better leader. He's fight 5, but he just spent a bunch of turns not being able to do anything to him.
Yeah.
This is
That's
the
okay
longest
too.
game recap of the
I
history of
know.
game recaps.
It's
love
partly
it.
my fault for keep asking
You asked
questions.
me another question, so now we're just delving into a little bit more.
All right, we're
But
stopping
no,
it now. We're
2-2.
stopping it now
Good
because
game.
we went into we had a rising submarine and a falling, I don't know what to call you,
Icarus
falling Icarus
flew too close to the sun.
Did I?
meeting for the last match. Ben Speak runs across the final member of our team, Andrew, and 2-0 against our team already. What's one more, right?
No, this game I'm in it to
Light
win
work.
it. I'm in it to avenge worst case Ontario against the
Yeah.
filthy win wraiths, and I'm playing hardcore here.
Let's
Yeah,
lay this
tell me
out. So
about it.
we have lead from the front. We have Helm and Haleth
Yeah.
up
I got
against
two heroes.
Dragon Emperor, Brogear, Andrew Tobby. A
That's
fight
tough.
5 Pike Wall versus some fight 5, but mostly fight 4 Riders of Rohan and Royal Guard. Andrew, you wanna set it up how deployment in the first couple turns went?
No, I want Ben to do it.
Okay, Ben.
Okay, so I had to play on that river board that I played Jacob Wixon against, but this time I had to cross the river
Let's
here.
shout out Jeremy for talking about
Yeah.
needing more water
Yeah,
on
actually
boards
true.
and making that for this event, right?
Yeah, there was a big old river right down the
Jared
center
made
of this
some
board, right
yeah,
across
made
the
some
whole thing.
awesome river resin tiles. They look awesome.
It was
Mhm.
it was funny seeing every game. You know, somebody had to push the river,
Mhm.
and then so some games were like just over the river, some were just in the river, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
a Middle Earth
so
mash right in the river.
Middle Earth mash, good old Middle Earth mash. So yeah, there was also a river, like a little pond in my deployment. I had to cross it. So Andrew deploys right along the back line with all of
I don't
his
know about
20
that.
something bows. No, he wasn't all the way at the back, but he was. I mean, you deployed within 12 inches of the board edge for your deployment.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
And I slowly but surely made my way up the board there. With many in the ways, taking shots at the Emperor and shots at my line. I don't know. He did a really good job shooting me and whittling me down. I think it was 7 models or something. We were also similar model
That's a lot.
counts. I was 32 models. How many models were you, Andrew?
32.
Yeah, so we were the same. So I'm already 7 down.
Mhm.
And yeah, eventually I got there somehow. I made it there with the Emperor still in the river. The Emperor spent the whole game in the river, I think, actually. And
yeah, he never left the river.
he was swimming, man. Those poor black dragon carrying the Emperor through the river. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we got into combat. The Emperor charged some Royal Guard, got in some fights on some Royal Guard. I think I killed 1 or 2 maybe. But I was feeling weak by the time I got there. 7 models, so my pike line was only 8 models wide. And I already lost 7 models, so I couldn't set up in a good pike line. Plus Andrew was spread out so far with his cav, he had no problem wrapping around into the side of my pike line. So I knew that wasn't really going to work. So I just kind of tried to tie everything up as best as I could. And yeah, I don't know. Andrew, you tell this part now.
Yeah, I was sort of spread out. You charged. We were fighting fight 5 and fight 5 with my Royal Guard, and somehow they lasted till the end of the game. Which shouldn't have happened. And then, yeah, you pushed over the river. We were charging back and forth. I got around to your back end with Haleth, and I took out Brogir with Haleth, and I hero combated off like further into your battle line. Was just like peeling off spears with Haleth. I overcommitted Haleth badly, to the point where Haleth was actually trapped all the way on the right side of the board, and he started on the center of the board. He was going to take my center objective, and I hero combated all the way to my right side of the board. Helm whiffed a fight and took a wound against. What did you have? 2 dice or 4 dice against my 4?
4. I had 4 pikes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I made the mistake. I made the mistake of not wounding the horse, which was crucial. I don't know what I was thinking. I just got so excited playing against Mr. Barbas in here. I was just rolling dice. Yeah, 4 strikes. And yeah, that was a big blunder on my part. I should have taken out the horse there. I messed that up.
Yeah, I saw 3 fate for the horse though. In D5.
Yeah.
I know you get +1 to win, but
it's true.
Yeah, after that, Helm charged back in, killed those guys, and I think with the hero combat, I had to charge. Yeah, I think one time I just left. I just left one of the turns.
On the second to last turn, I think you pieced out because
I was
left. I was 9 models remaining by that point. Okay, so I got to talk about this. So the Dragon Emperor gets tagged by 1 Rider of Rohan. The Dragon Emperor has 3 dice. He's 3 attack.
I got to take Kurt check for that too.
Kurt check is a terror. Yeah, he passed it. The Dragon Emperor is 3 dice. He gets a reroll for the banner and a reroll for being just a hero. They just get that in the host of the Dragon Emperor. So on 5 dice, I don't think I even got a 5. I think I got a 4 high. So Andrew's rider rolls the 6, and that was a big whiff on. I combated it. I think I called it combat too.
You called it combat there. And one thing I remembered afterwards is that I only rolled 1 dice for that, and I should have rolled 2, and I got the 6 on the 1 dice.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I am infantry. Yeah, yeah. True. Man. Anyways, yeah. So I whiffed that, and then the next fight, I was so low. I don't know. I was just taking casualties like crazy. I was getting munched, and Andrew has the Dragon Emperor trapped now. Okay, I got 5 more dice here. Let's get a 6. What do I roll? I think at 4 high again. I don't get the 6, and I'm trapped by so many cavalry models. And yeah, Andrew gets the 6, and he doesn't roll. He rolls all of his dice to wound, doubled
18 dice or something like that,
and not a single wound on the Dragon Emperor. Crazy whiff from both of our parts. So that was easily the Dragon Emperor dead there. And he didn't die, so he stayed on that one left objective, my left. But because I didn't wound that horse, Helm's horse, he was able to whip around the line and come back to the center, and score that center objective. Had I killed the horse, I don't think Andrew wouldn't have scored that objective, because I had Rutabi there. And then also I was 1 model off of quarter, and I was 1 model off quarter. The round ended, and then we played out the next round. That was the turn that Andrew got Helm to the center. So if I had 1 more model dead, the game would have ended there, and Helm also wouldn't have made it back. So it was close in that sense, but it was a very good game.
It was very fun. Yeah, Haleth probably should have died a couple times. And he
was trapped a couple times. Rutabi got trapped a couple times. It was a rough game for me. I was stuck in the river with the Emperor the whole friggin' time.
Yeah, that was. I think. Well, if you didn't have the river, I think I would have just kited you longer, and it would have been pretty much the same result.
Yeah.
Maybe you would have spent might on marching, and which
I don't have march
on my list.
No,
so I would have just kited you longer, so it would have been the same thing.
Yeah. Brogier died throughout the day, I think 3 times with full will. I misplayed him so hard.
That was my one question because Brogier, I don't hear a ton about. How did you find? Oh, I guess you kind of said how you found. But would you have gotten more out of a captain with a march?
No. Brogier is such a amazing little tool. So on a natural 6, the will is free when I cast. He's got channel, so it doesn't count as a natural 6, but he's got channel. He's got 2 will, and he's got he's got 5 will, 2 might. And tremor is, if I had gotten a couple tremors off on Andrew there, he would have been cooked. But I mean, the river was there, and Cav being able to move freely through the river. I mean, the river is my arch nemesis here.
To ancient enemy.
Yeah, legit, bro. Ancient enemy. Yeah. Brogier, he did awesome. Like, he did a couple great tremors, good enchant blades, blade wraths. He did a good job, because I just misplayed him. Really.
Yeah.
Well, in our game, you got a tremor off on
I did
6,
get a tremor. I did.
and I had to spend all 3 of my will, and I got a 5. I spent and put a might too.
And then the next turn, he died. So if I could have got another tremor off, and Helm would have been off his horse, on his butt.
Yeah, the next turn that's why I overcommitted health. So I was like, this stupid caster needs to die, or I'm
he's
I'm
brutal.
in
If
He is
Brogier
brutal.
pops off and gets a couple 6s, man, oh man, he's such a, and he can he essentially guarantees kills. Like, you just cast enchanted blades on your heroes, and then those heroes are just rolling whatever strength 10 or whatever the heck it is. It's ridiculous.
I know.
Well, you got to
sucks
roll
to
6
say.
to win the duel first before that.
Yeah, well, when you're rolling 3 dice plus your dual reroll plus your banner reroll, man, I play these things enough to know that these guys are a huge freaking pain.
Yeah, I did have
Unless
Brogier
you,
not do
fail all
anything.
Yeah, like our game, Ben, where Brogier failed all his like cast rolls.
Yeah, Brogier casted 1 enchant blades and then not a single thing the rest of the time, and that was the only game he survived to the end. Was when he didn't do anything. Yeah.
Is it what is the enchant blades? Is it this? It's a strength 10, isn't it?
No,
It's reroll
enchant
all,
blades is
failed
reroll
wounds.
failed wounds.
Is that what it's called?
Enchant
Blade Wrath.
Blade Wrath is strength 6.
Blade Wrath is what I'm thinking. Yeah,
You go up to strength 6. I didn't cast that. I don't think. Maybe
I
once.
mean, either or. Both are good at making sure that kill happens.
And more what I was using them for was to scare people off of charging my heroes. Like, if I needed Rutabi open, I would enchant blades, and maybe prevent a combat endure or whatever. But yeah, he was a good tool. I don't think I would get more out of a captain.
Okay.
We didn't instead of saying the final score. It was 7-2 victory.
7-2,
for
yeah.
Worst case Ontario.
Yeah.
Avenging
Nice.
my team.
2-1 against your team.
Yep. 1-0 against your team.
I was 1-1 against the win race.
I think that's a better overall score, right? That's the
You're
same
both
score.
2-1. It all evens out.
We're just as good, apparently.
No, we definitely aren't. But
We are struggling.
we ended up the day. I think Andrew, you came 4th or 5th,
Yeah,
I came 4th.
I believe it was 4th. Yeah.
and then Ben and Zach, you were kind of middle of the pack at 2-2.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I ended up.
Can't imagine coming 2-2 to an event. It's so embarrassing.
This guy.
For real.
This guy.
I want my
and
trophy
Andrew,
back.
You won the best banner.
I
Mhm.
did. I
Yeah.
won Best Banner. Thank you, everyone,
Jeez.
for your votes.
Another.
Will's
win
gonna
for
put it up
them.
on screen here.
No, definitely not. We're recording. We're recording this the night before it comes out. This is going to be just like almost unedited.
It's a very cool Goblin King. Your chose are awesome. And Ben, you
Yeah, they
painted
were
it,
really
right?
good.
Thanks.
Ben printed those up.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gold, your coverage on the gold is actually really good. What
Thanks.
paint did you use? Is it just a spray paint?
It's like a Krylon. Yeah. Oh, here. Okay, quickly. I gotta say,
Here we go.
the craziest thing I've probably heard on your podcast is when you guys were talking about primers during your live stream one time,
Mm-hmm.
and the amount of people that said they don't use generic regular Rust-Oleum or whatever from Canadian Tire. The amount of people that said they use Citadel, I thought was crazy.
It's insane.
Just buy this,
Right, Will?
But
I
buy
have
the Canadian
never
Tire.
had an issue with using $12 Canadian Tire primer. Never in my life.
Never.
And the amount of people I heard
Yes.
saying
Thank
I
you.
need a $24 Citadel primer, I was like,
It's
my mind was
$30 now.
blown.
Yeah.
Insane.
$30.
That's crazy.
Anyways, I had to leave that here.
Jeremy, can I tell you something?
Let's hear it.
I just placed an order from GW, and in that order is a black Citadel primer coming
Yo,
on my way to my house.
Lock it in, Andrew. Mine just got here. Where'd it go?
I was
It's insanity. I don't understand how you can
Support your
justify-
hobby.
I looked at it. I was like, oh, it's gonna be 18. Like last week, I was like, how much even is this stuff anymore? I looked.
$30.
I was like, it's gonna be $18.
That's
It was like
good stuff.
$24. Yeah, and that's crazy. That's crazy. Never. My coverage is lit.
Yeah,
Amazing.
legit.
Anyways, I had to leave that here. I don't even know what we were talking about now, but
Thank you. Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
Do you paint out of the pot?
half and half.
Oh my god.
No, usually not. Usually not. It's usually really rare where I paint out of the pot. I don't like. It's usually thinned.
Oh, don't backtrack. That was a guy that paints out of the pod and
It's
doesn't
like-
want to admit
Yeah,
it.
Just
that
a
was
little
pot
bit.
painter.
No,
That's
it's
a
just
pot
it's usually when
painter
my
right there.
when my brush is really wet already, and then I'm like, all right, I'm not. Yeah. Anyways,
That's how I always paint. In fact, if
Ben's a
you
pot
watch
painter, I
our
think.
latest video, which is a hobby
Oh, here we
video,
go.
I talk about paint from the pot. Now it's not really paint from the pot.
He's also crushed about this one. He's got like
I'm
no
putting a mark there
comments
so I
on
know
it.
when I'm uploading to YouTube, I can.
Dude, you know what? One day of the video being out that he ran solo and immediately messages like, "Oh, what a fail! This is nobody likes this." Whatever. It's like, dude, it's just been one day. You gotta like give it a bit of time.
yeah.
He was so crushed that Jeremy and Ben didn't go and comment on it first day. So
I'm gonna go have to.
I
Hey,
guess
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
answer.
answer.
Here, I'll
I'll watch it
commenting
now.
on it.
I got better things to do.
Oh, okay. Come on.
Sorry.
well, it's
I'm gonna go watch it, Andrew. I'll watch
Yeah.
it.
If you
I'll
like
watch
Bob
it, I'll
Ross,
watch it.
you'll like this video. If you
Okay.
like watching the joy painting with Bob Ross. I even put the
we've-
little afro in my head.
we've gone on for a really long time, and we still have a whole nother segment to go through. So, and it's getting late, and we have to edit this and get it out tomorrow. So, let's get right into. I want to talk to Jeremy and Ben about TOing and setting it up because this was your guys' first time setting up and TOing a tournament. Can you? What were some things that you didn't expect from the setup of the tournament? Like, if there was like a time commitment or like any stress points leading up to the event. Do you have anything that kind of pops to mind?
Well, really quickly before I forget, your TOs out there, you guys, they put in tons of work. What's the best way to put it? Help them out, respect them. These guys are volunteers. And I mean, I've seen tons of tournaments run, 20, 30 plus tournaments run. I thought I had a comprehension about how much work it takes to put one of these together, and I didn't. So it's given me a lot of respect for the guys that have done it in the past. And I know Will, Andrew, you've done it. So, and we have some TOs that just continuously run events. So, thank your TOs and make their job easy. And I guess that kind of leads into for stress points for me was just, making sure people signed up essentially. Like, we talked about it a bunch, but this was the 4th tournament run in the month of March. So it was a bit of and we've talked about this, a bit of a kind of a test for the OSBGLs because we've had some good attendance at events, 30 plus, and just seeing what we can pull. And, just getting people out and making sure, they sign up, get their list registered, get their money in. Definitely a bit of a stress point for sure. The people side is probably the hardest part, but
Yeah. What about like the time commitment? You said you were doing a bunch of painting of terrain and stuff. Like, was there a lot board wise and kind of on that side of it that you had to do? Is that stressed you out, or was it pretty? People brought boards of terrain for you.
yeah. Well, I mean, Ben and I plan to run more tournaments. So this was, I mean, I think it's unique for this because it was the first one, but between us both, we have like 7 boards that are prepped and ready to go, with like 2 or 3 waiting in the wings. Just got to get some more terrain. So we were kind of pounding out terrain, especially for this.
Jared was. Don't include me in this. Jared put in so much effort for this tournament. You guys I went over to their house a couple times, and bro, the basement was like a terrain bomb. There was so much terrain he was making,
Yeah.
And I brought one board, and I brought myself with Jared put in a lot of effort for this tournament. So I'm really glad that we ran it together. I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own.
I mean, again, it's because we plan to run more, so having it prepped. But I don't know. I want my terrain to reach like a certain level of standard, and from here, because it's already there, I can just continue to up the level of. It's kind of like your models, right? You can always go back to certain models, add highlights and things like that. So that wasn't really too much of a strain for me. And I knew, to be honest, the community was fantastic too. I had so many offers for tables. So if you are worried about, as a TO, if you're thinking about TOing, you're going, oh man, I don't have personal tables or whatever, don't worry about it. It's great. Like, I'll bring 7 tables to your event if you need it. Andrew brought a table to our event. I'm sure he probably has more. John, Chris brought it. Like, there's so many guys who were like, I'll bring a table. I can bring a table. Zach, like, all these guys said they could bring a table. So Scott, Ray, literally all these guys. So, that wasn't really a stressor, but, yeah.
How about, one thing that I've struggled with at my events is people bringing proxies and alternate models, and not that you have to call people out for it, but did you have any any points where people asked for approval, or you had 3D prints show up? What's your kind of stance? No, I don't want to say stance. I don't know what the right way to phrase this is, but what's your kind of position with the proxies and stuff like that? Are you pretty open and willing to it? You think we need to be a little stricter with it? What's your thoughts?
Well, we talked about it on our podcast, how we feel about proxies and alt modeling. I think it's fine to an extent. When you have other models in the line representing models in your army that aren't the same, I think that's a little bit too far. I don't think that should be allowed. Just out of respect for your opponents and the event you're going to, to bring the right models for the right thing. But proxies, using Space Marines as like Urukai, that I don't think that should be allowed at all. I don't know, that's an extreme, but there's a fine line to walk when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't put in the event pack, but I have seen it before. And I'll probably put in the next one is, if you are thinking about bringing an alt model, something that's not it, message one of us, clear it with us, because even though you might think it's good or appropriate, doesn't necessarily mean we will. If it's not a GW legit, if it's different, you should probably clear it with the TO. Even if you think, this should pass, but we've seen things, not just that, we've seen things in previous tournaments where guys bring things and they're not it. They're either, big models, small models. They're, like Ben was saying, proxies, very different proxies. We're not talking Gladrum elves as Rivendell elves. It's just something completely different. And again, it is a fine line, but having that clearance, we did have, there was one person before, but they didn't even show up. They dropped. You know who you are. He cleared it with me beforehand. He asked me, and I said, yeah, that's fine. But I also said, hey, guess what? I have 2 of those if you need them. So good on you for checking. And yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I can just give you those models and let you borrow them.
The community is so good for that too. I lent out 2 armies to people that came to the tournament this weekend. It's I have no problem doing that. Just ask. Just ask around, hey, does anybody have these models I can use for this tournament? It's yeah, of course, just use my models. I don't care.
At the end of the day, and I don't want this to sound like we're ragging on. I can appreciate an alt model, but at the end of the day, this game could be played with rocks and sticks. It could, right? This little stick is Helm. and this little stick on a base is Haleth. They just have to be identifiers, but those identifiers, quite frankly, can kind of suck. A big stick is Helm and a smaller stick is Haleth. Those identifiers are terrible. So the game is miniatures by Games Workshop, and again, there's that outer circle of things that we include in that. But there is some level of standard that has to be had for the game to be thematic. Like, we want to be immersed, right? That's part of the reason why we do. We're immersed in the Middle Earth world. So if things break immersion, if a TO doesn't like that, well, that's up to them. I may be a little more loose on that, but immersion can be broken. Quite frankly, the gameplay can start being broken because if you can't identify a model, that becomes a rules issue. But anyways, we want to avoid all those things. So
yeah, and this seems the only reason I really wanted to bring it up, because you are TOs now and kind of have gone through it with your first event. Like, it seems like it's a pretty divisive in our own league, and so I'm always curious to hear about people's thoughts on it, because personally, I don't enjoy proxies. Alternate sculpts that are like very spot on, like, I mean, the Veil miniatures, like when it's Hobbit archers that are Hobbit archers, like it fits pretty well, right? Like the proxies, I've had a couple run-ins at a couple of my own tournaments where people thinking models weren't what they are, because it was, this isn't the example, but it was, I'm trying to think of something way out of left field so I don't call anybody out. It was, uh, a Galadrim knight as a Mirkwood knight or whatever, like something really simple like that, but somebody looked at it and didn't clue in, right? So it's kind of stuff like that. I think it's good to avoid. So personally, yeah, I've decided to add it to all my tournament packs. Like, you got to clear proxies, you got to clear everything, right?
Yeah, it's better to play on the safe side.
Yeah,
right. Just because you think it's one way doesn't mean the TO is going to think the same. So clear with them.
Yeah,
And even if you clarify at the beginning of the game, like, hey, this is what this is, and you're going through it halfway through, it's like you get caught up in the middle of it. You're gonna look at a model and think, yeah, okay, that's what it is, not what they said it is, and you're like, oh shoot, right. And now you may have done something you didn't mean to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Being a gracious opponent too, like if you're playing proxies, like, and somebody made a mistake like that, like understanding, like, oh yeah, it's not their fault for not recognizing this or whatever, like, let's take that back, or like, there's a lot of like sportsmanship to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to TOing, what's something you think people don't see about being a TO? Or let's do that. What's something people don't see? Like, what was something that behind the scenes you were, as your first time, was like, oh man, this is way out of anything I imagined.
Two things that pops in my head right away were like getting venue and getting stuff to the venue, organization of all that.
Yeah.
Coordinating that. Like, Andrew was the one that secured the venue. Thank you, Andrew, again. It was a sick venue.
That's great.
It was really nice to be there.
Yeah, all the logistics of that, and then also the communication with the players, because you have some players who don't have Tabletop Admiral, some players who don't understand Tabletop Admiral, which is what we were using. We weren't using Longshanks. Payment issues, whether it's people coming from the States and they can't e-transfer, things like that. Like, there are so many little things that you might not account for, that you don't account for, that you have to deal with. And you're going to be dealing with emails, messages, Discord messages, and it's a lot. So if you make sure you're making sure lists are submitted on time. I wanted the list to go public. I think that's fun. I think it's a fun part of right before the tournament. You get to, hey, there's these 16 lists or whatever. You look them over quick. I think that's part of the enjoyment. But if the lists aren't in by a certain point, I can't really make them public, because it's kind of unfair to 15 of the players if the one person or multiple people are holding their list off, not on purpose, but maybe they then see the list, and then maybe I don't know. I don't know. But the point is, to keep it fair, the lists have to go public at the same time. So the point is, making sure your list is in on time, making sure your payment is good, so the person's not tracking you day of. All those things. Those are things that aren't seen.
Yeah. The not, I don't want to call them stressors, but that's like, just organizing stuff is difficult, right? organizing people, it can be a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about like you guys had some pretty wild prizing, right? Like how did you find gathering that and funding that and everything like that?
Jer has a very nice little
here we go
goodie corner full of all unassembled models, unpainted models, and he very kindly donated them out of the kindness of his own heart.
Yes.
Nice.
Some of it was just pure donation. It was funny. I had Lendl Silder. I think I have 3 Lendls, so I got rid of that one. That's actual enough. So some was donated, some was just some stuff that we found for good prices.
Yeah, mugs.
Dice we split up. We got like kind of a larger pack, so yeah, we were able to split it up, and then some 3D printed stuff always helps. Yeah, and I think I mean there was the GW Kirthungle dice, but
yeah,
we didn't go too crazy on anything, but we still wanted, you know, to feel like you got something at the end of the day. There's 2 gore bags with I had 3 gore bags. It was funny, Zach and Andrew both like, what, 2 gore bags?
Didn't you
One's
end
painted.
up with one?
Yeah, the painted one. Study with fresh mini.
So
Nathan and I were
surprising.
talking about the gore bags because we were like, oh, it's so good, like it's so funny. But the problem is, if you get the gore bag, you gotta get Shagrat, and you can't get Shagrat on his own. So it's like, that's why I went with Alundula Sealdor, because it's like, if I go down this road, then I'm gonna have to, and then I'm just gonna end up with 2 gore bags.
Yeah,
that's probably what happened, anyways.
Well, I only have 2 Shagrats. So I had 3 gore bags, 2 Shagrats.
Why?
I bought one off Troll Trader way back, way back, and then the other Shagrat, I don't know, I think he ended up in a lot or something, and so I have somehow 3 gore bags. Don't ask me, man. I'm sure you'll be able to get Shagrats.
He's a collector.
Or well, I guess you don't need them, but
it's just a whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
The more you know, the more people that sign up, the more prizes you can get at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And signing up early, right? Like knowing you have that in the bank.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
How about like, was there a lesson learned, like an overall lesson learned? Is there something you'll do different for your next tournament? Like,
yeah, I mean, don't put 4 tournaments in a month. But that was like calculated stress. Like that was like we knew it could be tough. I mean, we still thought we would pull from a few different areas of Ontario better. Also forgot about AdeptCon. So there's a few potentials there, and then just some confirms or guys that we really thought were going to be there just weren't. So
and life happens sometimes. Or...
Yeah, exactly. So just making sure it's at a date that is good spacing, whatever.
Yeah.
16 is still a pretty good number for our league, really. I mean, we shouldn't get too wrapped up in the fact we've had a lot of 30 plus events recently. 16, I think, is still a pretty solid number, a good turnout.
Yeah. It's funny, and for a year ago, 16 was like the goal, right? Like 16, if you got 16, it's like, oh yes, we made it. And so, yeah, it's a bit of a test, like you were saying, for our league and what we can handle, like for our player base, like how much we're getting out, for sure. I totally agree with it. I know some of the stuff that I forget when I'm doing tournaments, like taking photos and stuff, but I saw you had a lot of photos. You got them all posted.
Way
up,
too many.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always have to take photos.
Make sure you show up for the tournament. That's something that was a stressor, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Ben had to play, but Ben was the prepped ringer, and then I was the secondary ringer that actually had to play to make it a 16-man. But so I had my ringer list, and then it was like, man, if somebody drops, I'm playing, and I have to figure out best sporting. I have to figure out the hobby. I have to, all that stuff you have to do in between, which would have been an absolute nightmare. So show up, unless you're sick or, have something, an emergency pop up, please show up. You're doing a huge disservice to your TOs to sign up and then bail. Not saying anybody does that, but make sure you show up.
Let's do what I do.
Yeah.
Sign up literally the night before and be like, locked in. I'm there.
Don't do that either.
Don't do that either.
Yeah, give us some time.
Yeah, give TOs time. Yeah.
And understand that like all of this was your guys' volunteer, right? Like you're not making money out. Like you're not.
No, yeah.
Like this is just you guys.
TO,
You've been in the league and putting on an event for your friends and everybody else that could show up, right? So,
Yep.
Understanding TOs, it's all their own time. It's all just for the good of the league, which is huge. Like thank you guys for stepping up and running an event, and you've already locked in for running more. So thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah, no locked in dates, but we'll get there.
How about any last thoughts from anybody, like Zach, Andrew, TOs, tournaments from the weekend? Anything else you wanted to shout out? We're already over. I think we're at 2 hours right now, so
Let's get to the rambling section that everybody loves. It was a great event. It was a lot of fun. Good venue. You guys, we touched on a bit the banner. It was a fun theme. The knowing 3 scenarios is interesting, with the last one being random. I liked, especially because you knew the pool, and then it was obviously the best pool, so you're going to end up with a good scenario no matter what. For the last one, I thought it was a really cool way how you guys went about doing it. It was a good event. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Also,
it was
Strode's sandwich shop or whatever it is.
Shout out
Unreal.
Strode's.
Lit.
Dude,
Shout out this
that place was
random
awesome.
barbecue place. So good. I'd go back just for that.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
Shout
man.
out Strode's.
I'm going back for sure. I'm in Brantford semi unregularly, I guess, and
Yeah.
I'm telling Mom we're going to Strode's.
Strode's is awesome.
It's awesome.
Told Lily
If they somehow found out about this podcast, that'd be insane. But shout out Strode's, they're the best.
shout out
Yeah, it was
Strode's.
great. I
Unreal.
ordered a lot of food from there. I had I'm going to talk my lunch wheel. I don't care what you say. I had a chicken
Chicken schnitz.
chicken schnitz
Chicken
with
schnitz,
everything on it.
classic.
Sauerkraut, pickles, everything. And then I was like, okay, that's good. And that was $7. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I
And
know,
it wasn't
right?
just like some of you casuals who eat out, like plebeians, go like, oh, like a McChicken. No, this was entire flattened breasts of chicken. And it was 2
Yeah.
of them. It was 2.
It's like 2 or 3. Like they'll just
Sometimes
slam
it's-
them on
bro,
there.
Yeah.
It was insane for $7. People came back with Burger King. I'm like, you guys are insane.
I
No.
know.
Yeah.
$7 for a giant sandwich with delicious
Yeah.
toppings on. The chicken was good. I got a soup. I got the bowl of soup was like $4.50 or something. They had lasagna soup. I was like, give me that. I don't know what that is, but I'm trying lasagna soup.
Why are we talking about the whole
This is
menu?
important.
This guy ate so much food, he was making us late for our lunch beverage in the parking lot.
I'm not
There
done
was-
yet.
yeah.
I'm not done my
There's
lunch
an
yet.
entire community that was in an uproar about someone talking about a lunch at a tournament, and now
Good.
we're going
I'm
like
bringing it
deep
back. I don't
diving
care.
into your lunch.
And then the last
Deep-
thing I got for $2.50 was a cabbage roll, which was delicious. And I ate all of that for lunch. And Scott
Awesome.
Cameron, shout out Scott Cameron, glad he could make it. He was sitting beside me and he was like, "You're going to eat all this?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "You're going to eat dinner after too?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I did.
Awesome.
Nice.
And had a few beers along the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, last time I got Strode's, I was like, man, there's too much chicken on this. Like, there's
Yeah.
just too much chicken.
No, that's impossible. Can never have
So good.
too much chicken
So
on a
good.
sandwich. Shout out
So
Strode's.
good.
Okay, anyway, sorry, Will.
No, it's so good. It's so good.
just
He's
say
just
quick-
upset he missed it. That's all.
Yeah, I
Will's
am.
not
I'm
even
not-
upset he missed a tournament.
Yeah,
just
big L
Strode's.
from Will.
Yeah, missing Strode's.
This is my first time hearing about Strode's, but yeah, it does sound like an L.
It was awesome. 5 minutes from the venue. Quickly, too, we had Kyle win the tournament with Scott
Vandegraff.
Cameron with the Kyle Vandegraff. Scott Cameron coming second with that double blister list, and Simon LeBlanc with he had four barrel weights, which we'll probably talk about on our pod. That's probably what we're gonna do some fill in here. Probably talk about that list, and then our most sporting was Josh Hickey. Show it to him. Zach and Andrew, you played him right, and we kept most sporting in there. We don't have it as a league thing, but still trying to push that at least a little bit if we can at tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And the best banner was Mr. Barbizon. So shout out to him. You can check that out on the OSBGL page if you're really interested.
Yeah. Man, Kyle's been on a tear, man.
Oh,
Back-to-back
Yeah,
tournament wins.
he's a
and,
great
like,
player.
just-
Yeah,
He's a very good player.
I think he's
He
going
really
for the league
knows
this
what
year.
he's doing with
If
his
he can get
list.
1 or 200s, I think he's going to take the league.
Yeah,
yeah, he could. He knows what he's doing.
he's very good.
Yeah, you guys want to plug your podcast one more time? Ancient Enemies?
Ancient Enemies.
Go check it out.
Simple
YouTube,
enough.
YouTube, Spotify,
Yeah.
Battle Reps, podcasts, you name it.
Yeah.
Tier lists.
I was going to
Deep
congratulate
dives.
you guys on 200 subs, but you still are at
I know,
199.
We're at 199.
Yeah, are we?
Yeah.
I checked when we started. Maybe it's there now, but
Maybe let's see here. That's not loading.
it showed me 199.
Yeah, it's probably 199.
So
yeah,
no
it's still
congrats are in order yet.
Aw. We're almost there.
Speaking of
But yeah.
subscribers, Will,
Wait a minute. It says 200
Yeah,
Speaking of
subscribe to these
subscribers.
guys.
Yeah.
Hit the button. Man,
I
I
got
have to do the spiel now.
200
Subscribe on
subscribers
YouTube.
there.
did
Zach's
you just
Zach's gonna
subscribe
talk
right
over
now,
me.
Will?
Zach's
I
going to
mean,
talk over
Zach.
me all this
Zach
whole
was our
time.
200th subscriber. Sorry.
That's
I
dirty.
just
We're gonna have
realized
to
I
get you a
wasn't
hat. We're gonna have to get you a hat.
subscribed.
That's crazy.
Okay, well,
Wait, it is-
congratulations on 200 subs.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a free way to support us if you can. Listen on Spotify. We have Instagram. We post all our Shane pictures there. Take a look. We also have a Patreon. We don't hide anything there, but we do have dice now available. I have a huge box that's sitting next to me right there.
at that.
We have dice. We have some uncut stuff. We have voting for Shameless, voting for live stream stuff. We do have a live stream coming up. Are we doing the
Next-
first Sunday of every month or second?
Second.
First, right? Second? Okay, so April 12th. We'll be doing a live stream in a couple weeks.
Coming
I
out
do.
in paint.
Oh, you know what? I gotta tease something. I have a list. I have a short list of like some dream guests, and obviously Jeremy and Ben were on it, and we finally got them on. But there's like a short list of some guests, and I had one from Australia that life is busy and the time change didn't work out. But I got one locked in for the end of this month,
Nice.
and it was like top of my list. And I'm gonna tease it now. And it's people that I've mentioned on the podcast before. I'm a really big fan of. So yeah, look forward to the end of this month. I'm gonna have them on.
Cool.
We'll get
Can't
to
wait
chat
for you to
with them.
fangirl all episode.
Dude, that's gonna be a tough episode because I'm gonna be like trying to like calm my emotions. At least I know like Jeremy and Ben. I can be like, oh, they're just people, but these people are like, these people are people, right? Like they're a step above us people, right? So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But anyways, Council of the North and Ancient Enemies want you to paint your models.
Paint your
Yeah.
models.
Peace.
Thanks for having us on. Paint your models.
Future models.